Hi, everybody. I'm Dan with the Retirement Shift. It's a new YouTube channel I'm putting together where I'm going to be talking about retirement. Uh, and it's not going to be about 401ks and savings and that sort of stuff. If that's what you're looking for, go see your financial advisor. I'm not that guy. I'm not going to talk about how much money you've got in your 401k or your retirement account. That's not what I'm about. What I do want to talk about are some things that you may or may not have thought about. Um, we're going to get pretty deep into some things. How do you want to spend your retirement? Um, how do you see yourself in retirement? What do you want to do? And we'll talk about some of the things that you may or may not have considered. One of the first ones is uh, what are the things that some of the things that I wanted to or should have thought about before I retired. Let me back up a little bit. I retired in the summer of 2021, and I wasn't ready to retire at the time, but my wife was sick with pancreatic cancer. She was terminal, so I left my job when I was 64 and a half so I could be with her. If I had done what I planned to do, we probably wouldn't be having this conversation. It would have been a different conversation. But one of the things that I hadn't planned on, looking forward to retirement, was I hadn't planned on illness. I hadn't planned on cancer. I hadn't planned on death, and I hadn't planned on being a widower before I retired. But you can't plan for every contingency. I had to readjust. I had to start a new plan. And if you are in that situation, start slow. Build your new life. And, um, do the things that you planned to do all along. They're just going to look different. One of the other things I will be talking about from time to time are what you expect from your lifestyle. There are a lot of questions to look at. And one of them is, what can you afford? And like I said earlier, I'm not the guy that's going to be talking about your 401k and a 4% withdrawal and inflation and all of those things. Those are conversations that you should probably be having with your financial planner, because we're not going to talk about that. What we are going to look at is, how's my health? What am I doing for myself? How's my spouse's health? Are we well enough to do the things that we have planned to do for years? Um, I'm I'm a pretty good money manager, but you can never plan well enough. How's your health? Those are the kinds of things that we're going to talk about. What can you do to remain not just physically healthy, but emotionally healthy? How can you remain social even after you retire? What are your hobbies? Do you enjoy golfing, uh, fishing, woodworking? What kind of things do you see yourself or you and your wife doing? I love to travel. And we cruise. Kim and I cruise 30 to 40 nights a year, maybe more. And we also like to take road trips. I'm 69 years old. I'll be 70 in February. And we have intentionally tried to put our travel and vacation plans early in our retirement. Because one of the things that, whether you realize it or not, whether you want to admit it or not, travel doesn't get easier when you get older. It gets harder. It's harder to sit in an airplane for hours. It's hard to lug your suitcases through an airport or to a cruise ship, or it's hard to drive. If you have a motorhome, if you have a motorhome, that's a big piece of equipment you're moving around. It's best to be safe. So I don't know. We consciously decided to do as much traveling and as much of our vacationing as we can while we're able to and while we feel well. Aging is a tough thing. It's somebody told me once, aging's not for the weak at heart. Um, your eyesight starts to go. I have cataracts. They're not bad now, but probably within a year I'm going to need cataract surgery. I walk a lot. My joints are in good shape. My knees and hips and everything are decent, at least for now. So I'm in good shape. But that won't last forever. My family has a history of heart disease, so I'm always aware, trying to take care and eat well and do the things that I need to do to stay healthy as I can. Um, I live in Iowa. I live where it's cold in the wintertime and we get some snow. Are you in that situation? Do you live in a cold climate? Does it make sense, or do you plan to winter in the South, maybe South Texas or Arizona or Florida, South Carolina, places like that where you can go and winter there and then come back to your home in the north uh, later on in the winter or early in the spring and get back to your old home. I don't know if you're planning to do that. I'm not, but things change. Um, does it make sense in your view to buy a home, a second home, or a condo, or a motor home, or a camper, some sort of an RV that you can take with you south in the winter and back north again in the summer? Um, I don't know. What kind of hobbies do you have? Do you enjoy golfing or fishing? What about cards? Are you a card player? There's lots of ways to stay socially active if you put in the effort. You can join a golf club, organizations, fraternal organizations, Elks and Eagles. There are Shriners, Masons. There's a lot of social clubs for men. There are some for women as well. I'm not familiar with them. The Red Hat Society jumps out at me. But there are also opportunities for you to volunteer, maybe in order to stay relevant, in order to stay engaged. Animal shelters, or maybe there's a food pantry or a soup kitchen or some sort of shelter where you can volunteer. Maybe it's this is the time in your life when it makes sense to learn another language. Continuing education is huge, and there's no reason you can't do that. It helps keep your mind sharp. That's one thing. But just being aware of some of these things that are going to come at you in retirement, some of the things that we didn't really think about is, what do you do when you and your spouse are home together 24/7? I don't know. It puts a stress on the relationship. You do need, for 50 years, 60 years, you've spent time away. You've gone to work. Probably both of you have gone to work and been away from each other for 8 or 10 hours every day, maybe only together full time on the weekends, or maybe not even then. But figuring out how to stay out of each other's way, give each other the freedom to do their own thing. That's a big thing that I'm learning that I didn't really consider before. When you're thinking about your hobbies, whether it's fishing or golfing, hunting or playing cards, woodworking, travel, all of those things can be limited by your physical ability. And it's harder to swing a golf club when you get older. It's harder to walk when you get older. Knees and hips ache a lot. And so those are just some of the things that we're going to talk about over the next, I don't know, few hundred videos, I hope. But it's going to be a good time. I hope you come back. I hope you find some value in this. I would appreciate it if you would give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel and give me a chance to present some more information to you. I would love to have a conversation. We can start a conversation together. I can answer your questions. You can answer my questions. I'd love to hear from you. So until the next video, I hope you stick around and come back. Hit the notification button on YouTube, and then the next time a video pops up that I created, you'll be notified of it. So until then, I'm Dan with the Retirement Shift. Talk soon.